Welcome back to another episode of FP&A Done Right Season 2. I'm Olivia, joined as always by my diligent co-host Ryan. Today we're digging into a topic that, honestly, has become the backbone of modern finance. Scenario planning. It's not just a buzzword anymore. Markets are moving so fast, even my board game nights feel chill by comparison.
I'm with you, Olivia. It's wild, right? I mean, back when I started, you built your annual budget, crossed your fingers, and hoped nothing went haywire. Now, well, that just doesn't cut it. Scenario planning, it's like, okay, bad sports analogy incoming. It's like your offensive playbook. If you've only got one play and the defense shifts, you're in trouble.
Exactly. And the reality is, most companies still aren't quick about this. The latest FP&A Trends survey found only 18% of organizations can run a scenario in less than a day. That's just under 1 in 5. And out of those, a microscopic 3% can actually do it in real time. We're talking about the difference between steering a speedboat versus a cruise liner that needs a 2-mile U-turn.
Yup. I remember this moment. At my old gig, just after we digitized our finance processes for this Fortune 500 company. We all felt like heroes. Workflow humming along, people high-fiving over faster reporting, and then, boom, sudden regulatory shift halfway through the quarter. And I'm not kidding, our old budget became useless in hours. That's where what-if modeling went from nice to have to absolutely must-have. Suddenly we were scrambling to answer, what if sales drop 12% in Europe? What if headcount freezes? It was messy because our scenario planning process was, well, more like an afterthought than a muscle we'd really trained.
And I think what surprises a lot of leaders is how scenario planning moves you away from static forecasting and really makes finance dynamic, adaptable, and, well, relevant. It's more than number crunching. It's about testing assumptions in a safe space, letting you pivot faster when the unexpected hits, whether that's inflation, demand spikes, or supply chain chaos.
Yeah, and honestly, I see a shift now. The best FP&A teams aren't just updating forecasts. They're shaping the entire business conversation. Scenario planning turns finance into storytellers who can say, here's 3 futures we might face, and here's how we could win or lose in each one. I mean, if only 18% of companies can run scenarios fast, most folks are still back at the line of scrimmage, calling audibles way too late.
So true. And honestly, if you're still stuck with spreadsheets taking you days or, worse, weeks to run these scenarios, you're on the back foot before the game even kicks off. Agile finance isn't just a goal, it's become survival. But it's not just about speed, is it, Ryan? It's about how scenario planning gets embedded right into the core of everything FP&A does. Let's unpack that a bit.
Yeah, let's dig in. So, best-in-class FP&A teams, they don't treat scenario planning as a side project or quarterly fire drill. They integrate it with rolling forecasts, driver-based planning, the whole 9 yards. The magic happens when you've got finance, HR, and ops rowing together using the same live data. Not just running numbers in a vacuum.
Absolutely. I mean, when you unify your planning platform, when finance, HR, operations are actually collaborating in real time, that's when scenario analysis becomes muscle memory instead of a last-minute scramble. I remember this one board meeting where my team got looped in early, long before any final strategic decisions were made. Because we had scenario models built in advance, we spotted a subtle resource overlap that would have sunk a major initiative. I think about it now, and honestly, it was the difference between telling leadership a compelling, joined-up story or patching holes at the end of the narrative.
That's exactly it. Integrated, holistic planning is a total game changer. But let's be honest, legacy tech, siloed older systems, and everyone clutching their own spreadsheet, those are real barriers. I saw a stat that blows my mind. Only 3% of organizations actually run scenarios in real time. Most are caught in endless cycle times, waiting on email chains or manual data wrangling. The best teams are investing in cloud-based platforms with built-in driver-based modeling, so they can simulate impacts fast and with confidence.
And for folks listening, real-world best practice means embedding FP&A early and often. It's not enough to retrofit numbers after a strategy is cooked. If you want to avoid being the person patching up a poorly aligned plan, I've been that person, trust me. The real leverage comes from being an actual business partner and bringing insight at the start of the process. Not just reporting, but influencing. Making sure financial realism meets operational ambition long before the spreadsheet ever gets shared with the board.
Right, and finance is at its best when it's the connector, a strategic storyteller, as Olivia put it. I love that. Real-time scenario management lets you sit at the table, guide decisions, and spot trade-offs. Not just give a yay or nay after the fact. But making it work, that's about tools, mindset, cross-functional trust, a mix of change management and technology. Otherwise, you're stuck in reruns instead of moving the plot forward.
And just to say, when you bring scenario planning right into the FP&A rhythm, when you unite finance, HR, and ops, that's when real agility starts to show up. It gives you earlier signals, tighter execution, and, critically, a better shot at making decisions that stick. But that's only half of it. The best scenario planning isn't just about reacting, it's about strategic value. Let's talk about what happens when you put it front and center as a decision tool.
All right, yeah. So, let's zoom out. When scenario planning's embedded as a decision tool, top-performing companies can steer through inflation spikes, supply chain messes, unpredictable demand. Just look at McLaren Racing. They've built this agile partnership between finance and operations, running scenarios continuously. That's helped them stay nimble and focused, whether it's handling the F1 cost cap or pivoting fast when something unexpected comes up. Having those models in the background means you're not scrambling, you're ready.
And I love that as a case. McLaren doesn't just make cool cars. They show how scenario planning, powered by integrated data and strategic storytelling, supports that forever forward vision. It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about quantifying trade-offs, stress testing every major initiative, so leadership can rally around confident choices, even if the landscape shifts under their feet.
Exactly. High-maturity FP&A teams are pairing up cost-benefit analysis and scenario planning. Every decision, capital investment, hiring, project launch, gets stress-tested through upside, downside, and base-case scenarios. And it's data-driven, not just gut feel. Actually, this reminds me of fantasy football, which I know is a weird analogy for enterprise finance, but bear with me. It's like when you draft an underdog lineup. Each player isn't a guaranteed win. You hedge your bets across different matchups. That's what portfolio scenario planning does. Balances risk and reward, builds resilience, and tracks the real payoff versus best-case hype.
That's not such a bad analogy, Ryan, though I might swap in chess for football. But the point stands. The future of agile finance is about more than just automation. We're moving into an era of AI-driven simulation, smarter forecasting, upskilling across the team, and putting scenario management right at the center of transformation. If you want to lead rather than lag, investing in those capabilities, real-time analysis, purpose-built platforms, and honestly, better data storytelling is what sets leaders apart.
Absolutely. And with all the emphasis on upskilling, tech enablement, and strategic business partnering, it's clear scenario planning isn't just a nice-to-have. It's what's keeping modern finance relevant, adaptable, and, dare I say, fun. I know that sounds weird, but I'm actually excited about this stuff.
You're not alone, Ryan. And for everyone listening, whether you're tackling your first rolling forecast or deep in AI initiatives, keep focusing on how scenario planning can shift your FP&A from reactive to proactive, from number cruncher to trusted business partner. That's where the real transformation happens.
All right, I think that's a wrap for today. Olivia, as always, thanks for the back and forth. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be back next episode to dig even deeper into modern FP&A strategy.
Thanks, Ryan. And thanks to all of you for joining us again on FP&A Done Right. Don't forget, Agile finance is a team sport, and scenario planning is how you play to win. Until next time.